Good morning, MacLaren. I'm Miss Cassell, if you didn't already know, and today I wanted to talk to you about olive oil and how it's made. So according to the EU, the top 9 producing member states of the EU are Spain, Greece, Italy, Slovenia, Portugal, Croatia, Cyprus, Malta, and France, with Spain producing 63% of the EU's production. I bet you thought Italy produced the most. It takes quite some time to make olive oil, and the initial stage can actually be a beautiful process. Harvesters use a rake to gently shake the olive fruit from the trees. There are many different kinds of rakes. This one here is an electric rake, which speeds up the harvesting process. Those who are harvesting the olives do their best to keep the olives from hitting the ground, so they place a net beneath the tree they are harvesting to catch the olives that fall. However, if the olives do hit the ground, they are technically still usable, but they just cannot receive the coveted title of extra virgin. As a side note, extra virgin olive oil is the highest grade olive oil can receive. It means there are no chemicals, additives, or other oils combined with it. So once harvesters have finished their work, they take the olives straight to the mill. And this usually happens at the end of the day. The mill is also known as the almazzara. This is done to keep the olives fresh and start producing olive oil. At the mill, the olives are separated from the dirt, the leaves, and the rocks, and they're run through the water to be cleaned. Once the olives have been cleaned, they are ground to form a sort of paste, and then they're mixed for 20 to 40 minutes, and this is done so that the best flavored olive oil can come about. Next, they need to separate the solids from the oil. So it is sent through this horizontal centrifuge that rotates the olive mixture at high speeds. As it is being rotated, the solids and oil separate and are then passed through a vertical centrifuge to filter the oil through. After all of this is complete, the oil is placed in large, temperature-controlled stainless steel containers before being bottled. So different olive oils can actually be very distinct in taste, especially depending on what olives were used. Some are spicy while others can be very sweet, and the makers often taste the oil throughout the whole process. To give you a better picture of how it's made, here is a short video.
For the health-conscious gourmet, there's one ingredient that's sure to set the taste buds sizzling. From frying to salad dressing, olive oil is an essential in any modern kitchen. A wide variety of grades and flavours are available, but they all have one thing in common. No, it's not the green bottle it often comes in, but the olives themselves. Each type of olive has a unique taste. By combining different types, the producer can create an oil with an individual flavour. The process begins at harvest. The traditional method involves collecting olives using tiny rakes, but it's not very efficient. For a big crop like the one on this farm, an automated harvester is used instead. The machine surrounds each tree and literally shakes the olives off the branches. The fresh fruit is collected into a waiting hopper along with some leaves and twigs, but these can easily be removed later. A machine like this can collect as many olives in an hour as it would take the traditional farmer to collect in an entire day. When the harvest reaches the production plant, the fruit is washed to remove any dirt, leaves or twigs that were caught up in the collection process. The more stubborn twigs and branches that remain are filtered out using a grill which only allows the fruit to pass through. To get the best quality oil, the fruit should be pressed as soon as possible. Traditional methods mean there's a delay between harvesting and the grinding process. The original method also uses big millstones like these granite wheels to grind both fruit and the stones into a thick pulp. But modern production carefully controls two vital factors. First, the fruit is sent directly from the harvester to the grinders with as little delay as possible. And second, the fruit is ground more gently. olives can lose flavour if the fruit is heated by the friction of grinding. The most sought after olive oil is called cold pressed. If the fruit pulp goes over 27 degrees, it can no longer be called this and loses value. It's time to extract the oil. In the traditional system, the pulp is layered between hemp mats. Each quantity of pulp is followed by another mat and so on, until the alternate layers look like a stack of giant pancakes. The stack is placed in a hydraulic press, which literally squeezes the oils from the pulp. It's collected below and has the traditional cloudy golden colour associated with good quality olive oil. The modern method is far less aggressive but just as effective. Instead of crushing the pulp, it's spun in a centrifuge like this one. As it's spun around, the oil passes out through a fine mesh, leaving the pulp behind. The oil can then be siphoned off and stored, while the remaining pulp is collected elsewhere. It's not wasted though, it's recycled and can be used as fertilizer or animal feed. It may surprise you to know that once it's been pressed, olive oil can be tasted like wine. The experience is obviously very different, but this is one way the experts can assess the purity and flavour of their product. Pure, unfiltered oil is considered the most valuable. If the residues are filtered out in a centrifuge like this one, what emerges is considered a slightly inferior grade of oil. The standard grade that you would find on a supermarket shelf is stored in steel tanks like these. Here, the final residues sink to the bottom, and what's pumped out at the end is a clear olive oil for the mass market. Olive oil is usually bottled in green glass, and there's a good reason for this. It helps filter out harmful UV light that can cause it to deteriorate. Finally, the bottles are sealed and labelled up, ready to be shipped out to homes and restaurants all over the world. So whether it's cold-pressed extra virgin for dressing or standard grade for frying, olive oil continues to be cooked up in kitchens everywhere.
So I hope you all enjoyed learning a little bit about how olive oil is made, and maybe you'll even taste some when you get home. Have a wonderful day, MacLaren.